Welcome to ESPN. I am your host, Jacques Slade.
When did you catch the addiction and disease of golf?
The first time that I interviewed Kobe, hit record on the camera, made sure it was right.
Bro, are you by yourself?
Oh my God, did I hit record? Please.
The shoe game in golf has changed a lot too since you first started.
Taken off to the point of 1.3 million YouTube subscribers.
Sunday night, my email was cut off and I found out I was fired. What size are you?
I'm 9.5.
Oh,
I feel like I owe you one from a decade.
No! We do not. Look at where he's ended up.
No, I want Jacques Slade top 3 shoes of all time.
Normally, Matty's the one who introduces the guests and stuff, but because this is one of my boys, I get to introduce Jacques Slade, who I was just hanging out with a little bit. I know I could do the drum roll. I mean, if there's one authority on sneaker culture, shoes, and a dude who is now fully engulfed in the golf rabbit hole, my man, what's going on?
What's going on, brother?
I want to start here. So I saw the tweet that you put out talking about this is your 10-year anniversary last week.
Yeah.
Of when you got fired and then was like, you know what? I'm going to just go out on my own. You got to tell me that story.
So funny enough, it actually has to do with ESPN as well.
It always does.
Yes. So there was an opportunity to go on ESPN and talk about Jordan and his shoes for his 50th birthday. And the place that I was working, ESPN and Nike, they reached out to me to talk about it, to go on ESPN to talk about it. And I sent a note to my boss saying, hey, ESPN and Nike, they want me to go to talk about Jordan shoes for his 50th anniversary. Well, my boss felt that he should be the one going on ESPN talking about shoes and Michael Jordan, his obligation, I guess. And as a result of some back and forth emails, some emails to Nike, some emails to ESPN, Sunday night, my email was cut off and I found out I was fired. And the next day, next week, I put up a video on my own channel about sneakers, and things have been kind of just taken off ever since.
And taken off to the point of 1.3 million YouTube subscribers.
It's been great.
So that journey from that morning after, what was your first video when you decided, you know what? I'm my own guy now. I gotta do something.
So I couldn't compete with this. Like back then there was a bunch of sneaker blogs. I guess they're still around, just everything's on social now, but I just couldn't compete with them because they had full staffs. And so my idea was I'm going to basically create a television version of a sneaker blog on YouTube. And so I started to do like this news version of sneaker videos, of like sneaker news going up, kind of almost like me being an anchor and just giving them information about what sneakers were coming out, what was the latest news, what were the latest rumors, that kind of thing. And at the time, no one was doing that sort of thing in the world of sneakers. And so it really set me apart. And so brands started really showing me love, and like the audience started showing me love because everyone else wasn't doing this kind of content. This was before Complex was doing sneaker shopping. This was before they were doing sneaker closets. This was before DJ Khaled. This was like, this was obviously 10 years ago when like the YouTube world wasn't that big. And I got really lucky and found a niche for myself.
A follow up, if I may, Caddie, real quick, because the YouTube world, you're right. And as we sit here today, the YouTube world is still very primitive. It's still very new. I mean, Caddie and I have gone from a podcast, all this other stuff, and now we're finding our home here with the show on YouTube. It's a fascinating space to work in.
Yeah.
How did you find that growth in an area that you probably didn't know much about?
Yeah, honestly, it was really a lot of experimentation, like just a bunch of try and fail sort of situations, just putting stuff out there. I got really lucky with the news style because no one was doing that. And so like that kind of set me apart. And then I started watching other YouTube content. So I'm really into like technology. So I have a bunch of cameras and phones and all of those things. So I was watching a lot of those videos. And at that time, those guys had really elevated the production value of their content. Just because, you know, with the tech side of it, it was kind of almost like it kind of came hand in hand. And so I started emulating that, but doing it for sneakers. So I was doing multiple camera unboxings where I was switching between 3 cameras, just unboxing a pair of sneakers and talking about it, you know, because I saw this going on in the technology world. And I just kind of wanted to bring that into the sneaker world and just like raise the value of production. Because the goal at that point was, I want to be on ESPN. I want to be on SportsCenter. I want to be able to do what I'm doing now and talk about sneakers on those channels.
Yeah.
And so I was like, let me create something. So if someone just happens to see it in SportsCenter or ESPN, they're going to be like, oh, that dude, like, you know, back then you think, oh, if I just do this, they'll come and get me kind of thing. And so at that point, that's what I wanted to do. And so I was just trying to create it like I was already there.
What was that one moment when like a sneaker company either reached out or sent you something that made you go, yo, like, I think I found where you knew, like the light bulb went off, like, yo, this is going to work?
So it was actually that same year, that, I think the same year I got fired. It's either 13 or 14. So Nike had this huge launch for the KD6. And they actually flew me out to Virginia, and like I got to like tour KD's hometown, and they launched the shoe, and we got walked around DC a little bit as well. And so I got to experience that as like a YouTuber, because back then I was like really the only YouTuber that they kind of allowed into that media group. So like, I mean, obviously there was people from ESPN and Sports Illustrated and all these places, they were there, and I got invited. And back then, you know, I maybe had 5,000 subscribers. So they kind of opened the door for me. And then the other time would be the first time that I interviewed Kobe. Shout out to JC Prieto. She used to work at Nike. She's not there, but she really threw me the lob, because it was me, Sports Illustrated, and I think Men's Health that got to interview Kobe at the time.
Wow.
So like, you know, like that moment was kind of just like, Jesus, like what's happening? And, you know, I came in there, you know, by myself, you know, because I was a one-man band. It was just me. I didn't have a team. I didn't have a staff. So I ran camera, I ran lights, I ran audio, and I did the interview as well. So like I had to do all of those things, and like it's with Kobe. So obviously I'm super nervous, but you know, I had to get it done. Like someone, you know, that was an opportunity that not many people in my position got. And for me, I'm like a fighter for the social media and content creator, because I think we have a powerful voice as well. So I know if I mess up, that was going to mess it up for every content creator and YouTuber behind me. And so I just wanted to make sure I made a good impression. So I literally did it all. Hit record on the camera, made sure it was right, ran back, sat next to Kobe, did my interview, took his lav off, went back, cut the camera off.
Hey, what did Kobe look like when you was doing it? Like, bro, are you by yourself? What are you doing, man?
So I tell people this all the time. That's one of the beautiful things about Kobe, is he was just like, he makes you feel like you're the only person in the room, or at least he made me feel like I was the only person in the room every time. I think I had interviewed him 3 times. Each time he made me feel like I was the only person there. So even though I'm going through all this, I'm setting all this up while other people are interviewing and things like that, just to make sure that I'm perfectly ready. And you know, I tried to make sure like it went on, you know, like nobody would notice the difference. Of course, in my mind, I'm pushing all these buttons and, oh my God, did I hit record? Please, you know, make sure you hit record. Like all of those things are going through my head. But you know, it all worked out, and I don't think anyone was the wiser.
You know, as someone who came through small market local TV, I was a one-man band. Like I was carrying my equipment, shooting my own stand-up, editing my own stuff. Like,
yeah.
And just the way that it's evolved into the technology that you do it now with YouTube, and you've grown so successful with it. And as you know, Matty The Caddie is a golf-based show. So we also work as a golf-based rehab program. I would like to know, when did you catch the addiction and disease of golf?
That happened to me actually the same year, 2013. 2013 is when it started for me. I got invited to the launch of the TW13, and I had played golf before, but I hadn't played golf kind of thing. And so one of my buddies, he was playing. And so like 2 weeks before the thing, I hit him up. I was like, yo, you got to teach me to play golf in like 2 weeks because I have this thing that I need to go to. And he was like, I can't really teach you to play golf. I can teach you the etiquette. And he's like, but I can't teach you to play golf in 2 weeks. And I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. And I went out with him probably 3 times in that 2 weeks. And I was like, this is what you've been doing, bro? Bro, this is what you've been doing. You just been telling us you're going to play golf. You didn't tell us you're having this experience. You didn't explain it the way it feels. Like, that's different. So, yeah.
And by the way, I've been trying to learn golf for 20 plus years. It's not a 2-day thing. It's not a 1-day thing. So that's why we all love it. We keep coming back. Now, you were just at Riviera with Caddie.
Yes.
Tiger obviously made the cut on Sunday. How much is Tiger and his influence, not only in what you do, because I'm going to get to that question in a minute, because the shoe game in golf is a completely different aspect of what you do, but how much of an influence has Tiger Woods had on you and your love of the game?
Oh my God. I think just like everybody else, it's hard to see anyone that plays golf and not have some sort of Tiger influence in your life. I mean, the run that he had, and it's like Jordan in basketball. It's really kind of hard to separate the two at this point. And, we have all the greats in golf and all the greats in basketball, but really the barometer is Jordan and the barometer is Tiger. And if you were alive within the last 30 years, there's no way you can play the game of golf and not be influenced by Tiger Woods.
The shoe game in golf has changed a lot too since you first started.
Yeah.
How has the shoe game changed as in the way that you've seen like the basketball shoe game changed?
Yeah, well, the thing that's exciting for me is seeing golf shoes kind of morph into more casual fare, as opposed to what they've been before. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with playing in a pair of shoes that look like a pair of hard bottoms, but for me, I'd rather play in a pair that look like sneakers. And I think that transition is happening. And honestly, I think that transition happened with the TW13, even for Tiger shoes. As much as we all love Tiger, we weren't trying to necessarily dress like Tiger. Let's be honest, like trying to dress like Michael. Like, we're not trying to dress like Michael either. But Tiger, his shoes, when the TW13 came out, I think that marked a change in how golf sneakers can look and feel, because that definitely felt more like a sneaker, almost like it felt more like a cross trainer almost. And I think that is really started the bug. And then you saw Jordan starting to get into golf and doing their golf shoes, and they started off slow as well, but now I feel like they almost have a Jordan golf department at this point, as many golf sneakers as they're putting out.
Yeah, I got one quick follow-up though. Is there a secondary market for golf shoes like there is in basketball? I know it's not going to be nearly what we see in basketball, because basketball right now, the secondary market is just stupid. People become millionaires off of secondary market stuff. But is there a secondary market when it comes to like golf shoes now?
Yeah, I think there is a growing market for secondary shoes, and it's the same thing where it's just very select models, like the TW13 Masters. Like, that's one you're going to find on the secondary market. Stuff like that are really significant and really have a moment tied to them.
Wasn't supposed to be released.
Right, wasn't supposed to be released. Those are going to be important. Like, they did a Jordan 11 low for Masters maybe 4 years ago or something like that. Like, stuff like that, those are going to be on the secondary market. Jordan 1s, you can probably find those anywhere at this point, the Jordan 1 low, but the Jordan 1 high, which is kind of like a one-off, that one you'll find on the secondary market. It really depends on the shoe and really like the hype and story behind it.
Did your love of the sport, did that get you into the golf shoe fascination more? Or was it something just because it's a part of what you do that you just picked up on?
Yeah, it's just a part of what I do. And it's something that I picked up on, seeing how I see myself, that person not being able to be represented on the golf course kind of was the way that the sneakers really became a bigger part of the conversation, and the fashion of golf became a bigger part of the conversation for me.
So, sorry, go ahead, man.
Go ahead, Mikey, go ahead.
I was going to say, which is harder? Is it harder for you to now unbox some sneakers or some golf shoes and be like, or is it harder for you to be like, listen, I need y'all to stop sending me so much because I already got 2 garage fulls. Just can't. Please stop.
Well, I think it's probably more of the first one. And I say that because I'm constantly learning about sneakers. New technology is coming out. new styles, new shapes, new purposes. All of those things are always coming out. So even if it's not a shoe that I would necessarily wear, like I'm always kind of studying like the tech and like the purpose of the shoe and the design and see where the market is kind of going. And so I would say probably the first one, just because I'm in a constant state of learning and educating myself on the world of sneakers.
And because you know damn well if you call a shoe ugly, people get mad. They're gonna send an email and be like, please, why would you call our shoes ugly?
What size you wear, by the way?
Size 11 or 11 and a half.
Oh,
depends on the shoe.
I was gonna say leftovers this way if you got too many.
What size are you?
I'm 9.5.
Oh, I definitely can't help you.
Yeah, so
but we can't wear that many socks. We can't wear that many socks.
I'm gonna get you out of here on this one because as a SportsCenter anchor and an employee at ESPN, I feel like we owe you one. I feel like I owe you one from a decade ago.
No, we do. Listen, we do. Look at where he's ended up.
No, I know.
It is because ESPN didn't go after him and did. Now he's like, yo, I'm good. Imagine if ESPN called him now. Chuck, if ESPN called you now, it'd be like, yo, we'll give you $30, but you can be on ESPN. You'll be like, ha, that's all right.
It's the 10-year anniversary, damn it. Let me have my moment for him.
Funny enough, though, you guys can talk about it when I again, this is my naivete back then. Back in 2013, like that day I got that week I got released, I created my own like SportsCenter promo because I mean it was SportsCenter, Sports Nation promo because I wanted so bad to be on the show and I was so like upset and hurt that I didn't get to do it. I created this promo for Sports Nation. I'll send it to you guys so you can see it. But
send it. We'll put it.
Hold on, before Matty asks you his last question, this is my last one for you too. Because I love because this is golf. I gotta throw this at you. I'm gonna get. Oh, look, the UPS man shows up and the dogs want to kill him. Sorry, UPS dude. Lucky the door is closed. Here's my last question, and it's golf related, but it's also video related. Ready?
Okay.
Of all the videos that you have up there right now, every single one of them, if we went back at the history of the Jacques Slade page on YouTube, give me the one you wish you could have a mulligan on.
Oh, the video that I wish I could have a mulligan on. It would probably be the one that has done the best. So I went to Michael Jordan's house. I shouldn't say his house in Chicago that he doesn't live in anymore. That's basically a museum for him now. I did a video at his house and it went viral. And I watched that video back and I'm like, oh, I could have done this so much better. Like I could have really explained things and shown different shots and got different angles and all of these things like for what it is. And it went viral. And I'm thankful that it did because it really helped. That really pushed me to another level. But I look back at it and I'm like, oh man, I could have made this so much better. If all these people were going to see this, I really could have put a little more effort and story into this video.
Maybe the beauty of it is why it was so popular is because you didn't do it.
Yes.
Caddie, can I get my moment back now?
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
All right. Almost 9 million subscribers on the ESPN YouTube channel. I'm going to give you your moment right now. I want Jacques Slade top 3 shoes of all time.
Got it. All right. Welcome to ESPN. I am your host, Jacques Slade. And today we're going over the top 3 shoes of all time. First, we're going to start out with the classic. Many people know it as the Chuck Taylor, but the rest of us know it as the All-Star. This is the Converse All-Star, best known for its black and white colorway. It has history dating back to 1920, and that's what really makes this shoe special. If we take it to number 2, we've got to go with the shoe that really helped solidify sneaker culture, and that is the Jordan 1. Started out in 1985, sold out initially, ended up in clearance bins right after that, but then it was retroed years later, and that has changed the dynamic of the sneaker culture forever. Even to this day, the Jordan 1 is one of the most popular shoes ever created. And then for the final shoe, you have to go with the Adidas Shell Toe. As a child of the hip hop world and a child of hip hop culture, there's no way to acknowledge sneaker culture without acknowledging my Adidas and the Shell Toe shoes that Run DMC wore. They were the first to get a sneaker deal in the music business, and they really set the bar of what could happen when you mix hip hop and fashion. So for ESPN, I'm Jacques Slade, and those are my top 3.
Bring them fat laces back for them shell toes.
The Adidas shell toe golf shoes are the greatest thing Caddie's done for me to this day.
You're welcome.
And I'm gonna get you out of here on this one. Your favorite YouTube show is?
My favorite YouTube show is. Can I say my own channel or no?
No, you're supposed to say Matty and.
Oh, sorry.
No,
My favorite
this
YouTube show is
is
Matty
Yep.
and Mike, the ESPN
Yeah,
Academy.
Hey.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sorry, sorry, my fault.
Jacques is going to be one of the lost episodes. Never actually made it onto it.
Hey man, appreciate your time. So good. Your success is amazing. Your story is amazing. I hope more people see this and understand how special this was a decade later for you to be here with us. Jacques Slade, good stuff. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.